You came to the crib, Phil's crib, where he shares his opinions on random topics. And now, here's your host, Phil.
In this edition of Phil's Crib, we're going to speak about Disney star Zendaya. Now, if any of you pay attention to TV, or maybe some of your children had watched her on the different shows she was on Disney, she's also done some things outside of the Disney Channel, but things people were attacking her on, especially last year with the host of the Fashion Police on E, Juliana Rancic, where she spoke about her dreads and said it smelled like weed and it smelled like some other nasty garbage, basically. Now she got in trouble for that, of course, but it was an attack on Zendaya's hair and attack on black culture. Now we have another issue involving Zendaya. Now on ET.com, they was referencing an issue that Zendaya had with a publicist. Now as you read, it says Zendaya recalls a remark made that ultimately led to her parting ways with her publicist. And it's quotation, "I didn't like my hair and makeup one time on a photo shoot, and my publicist told me you should be happy with it. They haven't had a black girl on the cover since forever," the 19-year-old actress told Cosmopolitan magazine. So she let the woman go. Now there's three issues that I have with this issue. The first one is the publicist. How is it that you are Zendaya's employee? She hired you, you're paying her, and yet you have the nerve to tell her to shut up, deal with something, because they haven't had black people on the cover. You actually don't care about Zendaya's best interest, because as a publicist, you're there to make her life better. You're there to speak up for her, get her certain deals so you can make more money, because that's what happens with publicists. They help you get deals and they get their percentage out of it. That is so stupid that you have someone like Zendaya where you just get her some deals, movies, TV, magazine shoots, whatever, and you're paid. So this woman is so stupid that she actually cut food out of her pocket. The other issue I have with the publicist is telling her that basically, shut up, black girl, deal with it, because they don't let too many of y'all Negroes on this cover. And that's an issue for me as well. But is it the truth? Yes, it is the truth. They don't really let a whole lot of black girls on Cosmopolitan magazine. Now, the part of Cosmopolitan magazine, we notice that when they do let a black person on Cosmopolitan magazine, it's the black person that would pass the brown paper bag test. Now, what is a brown paper bag test? For those of you who do not understand that part of history, at one point in time in this country, they would look at a black person and they would put a brown paper bag literally next to their skin tone. And if you match the color of a brown paper bag or lighter, you were given more privileges. You was given a job a lot faster than someone dark skinned like myself. So Zendaya passed the brown paper bag test, and even after that went away, after Jim Crow, we have a lot of people within white America that still use the brown paper bag test to gauge how they want to deal with black people. Yes, a lot of the issues with colorism within our community has been brought from the plantation fields all the way to Jim Crow, even up until now, how they use our skin tone to divide us. And unfortunately, we are divided at times on that. Even after slavery, they created a group called the Blue Vein Group, and to make sure I am looking at that correctly, because I couldn't believe it when I read that. Basically, if they could see their veins, within their skin, these lighter skinned blacks, they felt they're more European like in nature. All this comes from racism and Jim Crow and all the different things that was imposed here in America. So we definitely understand the roots of colorism, but they decided to put Zendaya on the cover. Fine. But one thing Zendaya gonna have to learn, and she's a young girl, and I know she's gonna get it. You are a black woman, and that's just bottom line. And when it comes to black women and also black men, you're going to deal with racism in this country. You're going to deal with black phobia. It's going to happen. You can't escape it. It don't matter how well you speak. It don't matter if you're the president of the United States. It don't matter if you're dark like me or darker. It don't matter if you're light like Zendaya or lighter. You're still going to deal with it. You know why you're going to deal with it? Because you aren't them. Hollywood is extremely racist. Just look at the TV shows. I tell people that. Do you see a lot of black people on TV shows? No. When you go to the movies, do you see a whole lot of black people in the movies? No, you don't. Do you see a bunch of black directors? No. Do you see the black people owning all these TV networks? No. And if some people may say, well, what's wrong with people of white people owning stuff? Well, when they own everything, they control it and they do everything based upon what they feel their people want to see, and they cater to their people. And if their people aren't comfortable with seeing darker skinned people like myself or darker skinned women, on their covers of magazines or movies or whatever, then they're not going to do that. So a lot of times they do the brown paper bag test. They will pull up the Halle Berrys and the Alicia Keys types and the Zendayas. They would do that. The Sanaa Lathans and, they're comfortable with that, but they don't give darker skinned actresses a chance. Like they can't act in Hollywood. Now they may give darker skinned men a chance, but they definitely have this colorism thing with the women a whole lot more. Hollywood itself is an evil entity with all the pedophilia that's going on, which Elijah Wood had exposed recently. Corey Feldman exposed the pedophilia. Then you have the racism part that's going on in Hollywood. Hollywood is a cesspool of evil, in my opinion, and I really would want to deal with that. This is why we tell a lot of our brothers and sisters who have gifts to act and gifts to direct and edit, to create your own film companies, create a black Hollywood. Now, creating a black Hollywood is not saying we hate people, but it's saying is, why should we have to deal with racism and pedophilia and homosexuality and trying to make women have sex with men just to get parts? Why should we have to do that when we could establish a Hollywood on our own? And the thing is, we have the acting ability, we have the people who are great directors, but we need to do it ourselves. Because as long as you're dealing with Hollywood, as long as you're dealing with the music industry that's owned by white people and Ashkenazi Jews, you're going to deal with this issue, period. You can't really complain and say, look what they're doing to me, when they have shown you for years that they do not want to include you unless they can make so much money off of you, and that's fine. That's really how it is. And we have to accept this as black people. We aren't liked. It don't matter what they tell you. It don't matter if they say that, well, if you just not commit crimes and speak the king's English and don't be so militant. You can do everything they tell you to do, and they still gonna find a problem with you, some way, form, or fashion. And it's messed up. It's like that. And it's messed up that we can't all get together, get along, and have a great day and appreciate each other's differences. It sucks that we cannot do that. But they just have this group of people that's in this nation that don't want to do that. They practice segregation, even though they're not segregated. If you move around them, they hurry up and move away from you. They practice segregation easily. They don't want us and stuff. They show it. These are the things that I'm saying is based on facts. It's not me making it up. I wish I was making stuff up, and I wish things wasn't that way. You shouldn't be having a publicist telling you basically, little black girl, shut your mouth. You should be glad they put your black behind on this magazine. We don't have black people that can create a fashion magazine. We don't have black people that can create a black version of Cosmopolitan. You mean to tell me we don't have that ability? We don't have the talent? That is a lie. We have every talent. We need a black version of Vogue. We need a black version of what's the other ones? My mind blank. Harper's Bazaar and all them other ones. We need a black version of all that, because these people, when you go to the store, you do not see black people on the covers of these magazines. You don't. And they don't want to do that. And my thing is, I don't want to force them. I don't want to shame them, put black people on there and march and complain and cry. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's their stuff. They have a right to put on their magazine whoever they want. They want nothing but white people and have it an all white affair. I am okay with that. I am not angry with them. But what I'm telling us is stop begging these people. Stop being talked to like that by people that you hired and you paying for your best interest. Hopefully in the future, she get her a publicist that's going to look out for her. Hopefully a sister that's a brother that's going to look out for her best interest. And at least with a sister or brother, you don't have to worry about her saying, well, just be glad with it because they don't put black people on the magazine. At least you won't hear that stuff. I mean, it's just, wrong what this little, young girl has to deal with. And this is how black people are, exposed to racism. Is always on the job. If you don't experience no other place, you're going to experience it on the job or something related to finance. And the higher that you go financially, the more you're going to see it, because a lot of these people do not like to see black people be known. Black people have money. Black people enjoying their family. They just don't like to see that, unfortunately. Now, when you say, well, why are you saying all this stuff? Because it is true. Now, does that mean all people are this way? No, we're not all. But those who are making these moves, those who are the elite, they know good and well they're pushing nothing but racism. We look at the Oscars. They didn't have black people in that for the past 2 years. I don't believe we should shame them into putting black people in it, but I just feel that we need to understand as black people, we need to create our own stuff. I just hate to see people of my community begging all the time. Please this, please that, give me a chance. Why you treat me this way? I just don't get it, because no other group of people in this nation is doing that. Do you see the Asians begging these people? No. Do you see the Hispanic community begging these people? No. Or the Ashkenazi Jews, which they own a lot of stuff in this country anyway, are they begging? No. So if nobody else is begging, why are we begging? Begging these people for it, like we don't have the ability. We do more now than we ever done in history. We have more money now than we ever have in history. You have a $1.3 trillion buying power, and unfortunately, it goes back to other communities. Why can't we create our own stuff? That's the only thing I'm saying. And that way we don't have to deal with that. We have the NBA, the NFL, all these black men making everybody else rich that's look nothing like them. They the players on those plantations, but yet nothing but white and Ashkenazi Jews are making all the money because we don't create stuff on our own. But we rather deal with racism and deal with all these things of being told, well, you should be glad that we're doing this because we don't do this for black people too often. When we going to stop letting people talk to us any kind of way? When we going to take some pride in ourselves to say, no more will I be your whipping boy or whipping girl. I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to create businesses, because understand something. The way this economy is going, they're not thinking about black men and black women with jobs. You think Donald Trump's thinking about black folks? No. And if he say something about black folks, it'll be menial tasks and jobs that don't, pay a whole lot. We have to create our own businesses so we can do good for ourselves. And even with business is hard, but at least we should be able to create our own jobs in every field and not have to deal with the things that Zendaya is dealing with. And on the last part, it doesn't matter if you're dark like me or you the color of Zendaya. They don't like us like that. And we look at that based on actions. So even though they do have a brown paper bag, at the end of the day, you're not them. And they will show you that, just like Zendaya was shown by this publicist. Even though I'm taking your money, I'm still going to tell you, you're a piece of crap, little black girl. You should be lucky that they let you on here, which is sad. Leave me your thoughts.
Make sure to subscribe to this channel where we also feature so disrespectful YouTube comments and Advice Show Radio. Want news that isn't politically correct or influenced by corporate agenda? Subscribe to the Advice Show TV, where we present media with a common sense approach. Looking for something funny to get you through the day? Subscribe to Ratchet Video Weekly. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.